The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef!
This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, all loaded up. Here comes swing and a miss, struck him out, and the Dodgers take game 1. They hang on by their fingernails as the Brewers leave them loaded to end the first game of the series. 2-1, the final score. Whoa.
It is the Adam Gold Show. How you doing? I am Adam Gold. That is Victoria.
Let's go Dodgers.
Let's go Dodgers. Did you watch the game last night?
I did.
Stay awake for that?
I did.
I did.
I watched every second.
Did you
Thanks
really?
for making me sweat in the 9th inning, Dodgers.
All right, so before we begin, because I saw something I had never seen before
Yeah.
in my entire life. I've watched a lot of baseball.
Yeah. The announcers didn't even know what to do.
It was very confusing, and it would be easy to slam the Dodgers, and we will anyway. We saw an 8-6-2-2 double play. So what that means, if you are uneducated about this, and frankly, keeping score at a baseball game is a lost art.
Yeah,
something I did every single game I attended as a youth.
With the little card and the pencil.
Right. Well, you used to buy a program I spent a lot of time at Shea Stadium as a kid. I went to football games at Shea Stadium. That's how old I am. So you'd buy a program. You know, back when I first started going to games, they were like 25 cents.
Yeah.
Eventually, they were like $1.50 or $2. And there would be little articles about the players and fun stuff in there. But ultimately, what you wanted was in the center of the program was the scorecard, meaning a grid on which you would write each team's lineup, and then there's a little box for what they did when they came to bat in a particular inning. So every position is numbered in baseball. 8 is the center fielder. 7 and 9 are the other field. Left fielder is 7. Right fielder is 9. 6 is the shortstop. First baseman is 3. Second baseman is 4. Third baseman is 5. Shortstop is 6. I realize that might seem out of order to some of you, but that's the way it is. Catcher is 2. Pitcher is 1. So with the Dodgers batting in, I believe, the top of the 4th inning, was it? Top of the 4th or top of the 5th. Doesn't really matter what inning it was. It was scoreless. And they had the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Max Muncy hit the ball to deep left center field. The center fielder, Freilich, comes over, tries to make a leaping catch.
Mm-hmm.
It goes off the tip of his glove, hits the top of the wall.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball hits the wall, it's in play. You can't catch it for an out. Anyway, Teoscar Hernandez was on third. I believe Will Smith was on second. Doesn't matter who was on first, inconsequential. And Hernandez at third, for whatever reason, started the play wasn't tagging up. So he was off the base. Then, when he thought the ball was caught, he went back to the bag, and by the time he could get to home plate, Freilich had gotten the ball in. The shortstop's throw to the catcher beats him because it's a force play.
Yes. A
The
double
bases
force
are
play.
loaded.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a force play at the plate. You don't have to apply a tag. The announcers were not sure what happened.
No.
They were not sure, was it a catch in the outfield? Because I could certainly understand why you would think it might be a catch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's hard to tell from that vantage point that the ball hit the outfield wall, except I believe it was called correctly from the jump. So Hernandez is out on a force play at home. 8-6-2. Will Smith, no explanation for what he was doing.
No.
Smith was at second base, went halfway like you should on a fly ball to the gap, then went back to second, I guess still thinking that the ball had been caught.
Right.
So he was standing there,
Right.
and the catcher just trots out to third base, steps on the bag, and we have a double play. 8-6-2-2. Brewers are out of the...
Yep. Here comes the ninth.
Freddie Anderson hit a... Freddie.
Freddie, he is also multi-talented.
Yeah, he's the Shohei Ohtani of Brewers. Freddie Freeman hits a home run to make it 1-0 Dodgers. That's where we were until the ninth inning. All right, let me preface this. Well, I got home. It was like the 6th, so I did not see that play. I saw enough videos of it. Right, I did not see that play live.
Confusing.
I got home. My wife's watching. Aileen's watching the game in the living room. She loves baseball.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, next level.
Yeah. We would have so much fun in October with our
gosh.
Halloween decorations and our baseball going on.
And well, her team didn't make it.
Well,
no, they did. They made it. The Red Sox lost in the first round. Anyway, so she's watching the game. I walk in. She goes, Blake Snell is dealing.
Yes. I love this. Yes, Aileen.
Right? She's great.
I should have just left him in the whole game.
Well, go search my timeline. After 8, he's at 102 pitches.
Yeah.
I say on Twitter, no reason the Dodgers don't send Snell out and let him close this out in the 9th.
Should have.
No reason at all, except here's what I forget, and a lot of other people sometimes also forget, is that it's 2025, and baseball is run by analytics.
Yeah.
And this is where, in all sports, we have to have sense and depart from what the numbers tell us to do and simply use our eyeballs to watch the game. Is there a guarantee that Nate Snell gets in and out of the 9th inning unscathed? No. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee anything. We could have had an earthquake in Milwaukee in the 9th inning.
Exactly.
Probably not, but could have.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts tells Blake Snell after the 8th, you're done. Snell doesn't question it because I've watched enough Blake Snell baseball over the last several years to know that, my gosh, he was getting pulled by the Padres in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't watch that game, though, and not understand that Snell was, at that point, unhittable.
Yes.
He gave up one hit. He picked the guy off.
Mm-hmm.
He was unreal. After the 8th inning, you say, hey, Blake, I'm sending you back out. Blake would have been, cool, all right. Doesn't mean it would have worked out. But he should have closed that game out. Now, the happiest group of batters in America were the Milwaukee Brewers, knowing that Nate Snell was not pitching the ninth inning. You have to ask yourself that question. Am I doing the other team a favor by taking this guy out? Mm-hmm. The answer is yes. They brought in Roki Sasaki, who had been good in the role of closer. Didn't have his best stuff. They ended up needing Blake Trinan,
Terrified.
who was awful the last time we saw Blake Trinan pitch, but got out of the jam after a run had already scored with, I don't believe the bases were loaded at that point. I think it was second and third.
Yeah.
But my gosh, the Dodgers survived that inning, and they win it 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
They got an insurance run in the top of the ninth, which theoretically should have made it easier, but doesn't always. And it's unfortunate that Turang swung at a pitch that might have been 8 inches up out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens.
Well.
But
So sad.
Such a hater.
I
You're
know.
such a hater.
I'm going to live in it, and they did this, so you're welcome, Brewers.
Did you fly an L flag for them?
Oh, I got it ready. Just wait.
Oh, you're waiting for the end of the
I'm
series?
waiting.
Okay.
Because, see, I am smart, and I wait until they're done.
Okay. Cooked.
Yeah,
Wait until the Brewers are cooked.
Exactly.
Oh, man. It was a heck of a finish last night, but I didn't understand why the Dodgers, why Dave Roberts took Blake Snell out, except that it's modern baseball, and it's like you're not allowed to complete a game.
I guess, yeah. It's a new rule.
It's unbelievable. Somehow, I don't know how we survived, but somehow for like 100 years in baseball, pitchers would complete games and not die.
Right. Just
Somehow.
implode on the field.
What are you saving him for?
Yeah.
Are you saving him for next year?
Yeah.
Like,
this is why you're here. The World Series.
if the Dodgers win this series, and by the way, there's a day off in 2 days. After today, there's a day off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bring Blake Snell back in for the 6th game of the series, if you need a 6th game, he's going to be on, I think, more than 1 extra day's rest, because today is what, Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday's the off day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday they play. Off Sunday, back on Monday. Right? I think I have that correct?
I think so.
So pitching like he's on 5 days, 6 days rest.
Exactly.
What are we doing? You got plenty
It's a
of rest.
vacation.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about yelling. All right, let's start.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get
All right.
it started.
Tonight, we begin the deep-fried tour of the Western Conference for the Carolina Hurricanes.
I know.
Very exciting. Oh, we already have our first question for one-timers coming up at the end of this hour.
Which was on Twitter. You can do it there. Or our YouTube stream. Hi,
Yeah.
YouTube stream.
Yeah, there
It's
you go.
up here. I'm watching.
I always forget. Shouldn't say always. Sometimes, most of the time I forget. We're on YouTube. So go to YouTube and search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan and watch. Shouts to all of you who are watching. Hope you're enjoying.
Right.
And if you are a subscriber, thank you. If you are not a subscriber, do it.
Yeah.
Why? But why should I do it? Because.
Yeah.
Because.
It's a
Because
great
I
answer.
asked you.
Politely.
To do. Yeah, well, that wasn't really politely. Please subscribe. And then do whatever you need to do. Rate, reviews, share, tell your friends, all that. Let's build a community. We are all about the community. By all appearances, tonight's road trip will begin without the defensive stylings of Jacob Slavin. So, because the team is being that way, nobody will even answer the question, did Jacob Slavin board the plane? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but here's how I am inferring this information. Pyotr Kochetkov was placed on the injured list, and the team recalled defenseman Charles Alexis Legault from Chicago in the American Hockey League. So, I don't believe Legault is going to play, but because they called up a defenseman, what they are telling you is that we needed to make sure that we had an extra defenseman just in case. So, Slavin's not going to play. Mike Riley will draw into the lineup. And that's where we are. We'll give you, this is the way they lined up in practice yesterday on the blue line. Keandre Miller and Sean Walker. Alexander Nikishin and Shane Gostisbehere. Mike Riley and Jalen Chatfield. So if you're asking me why won't they play Charles Alexis Legault, I will just simply say they paid Mike Riley for a reason. Mike Riley is a credible NHL defenseman and used to playing in NHL games. And if we're talking about a long-term situation, then I think that Charles Alexis Legault would stand a chance to draw in. But I don't. They hope we are not dealing with a long-term situation. I have thoughts on that in a second. By the way, at practice yesterday, they basically lined up the same way. And I know they're 2-0, so why would you change? Except that there might have been one change, and I don't know that this is the way it's going to be tonight or not, but it did look like Mark Jankowski was taking more of the reps at center on the fourth line between Taylor Hall and Eric Robinson than was Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I don't know. Maybe Jankowski draws in tonight. But anyway, real quick on Slavin. No idea what it is, but let's kind of roll it back a couple of weeks, months even. I knew this. At the end of last year, Slavin needed a little bit of a rest. He was dealing with something lower body, and I have zero information as to whether or not what happened at the end of last year and the knee brace we saw on video during the summer when he was speaking to NC State's football team, whether they were related. I have no idea if they were related or not. But I do know, factually, he was dealing with something at the end of the year. He sat out a few games at the end and played every game in the playoffs. He might have missed one. Did he miss a game in the playoffs? Man, I wish my memory were better. Anyway, so Slavin did not appear in a preseason game. He didn't appear in a lot of practices in the preseason. And here we are in game 2, and Slavin played almost 10 minutes less than Keandre Miller. Now, Miller played nearly 26 minutes, but Slavin played under 17. I would have to go back and look, but I would wager that Slavin has not played such a small amount in years, except in case where he left the game injured. So alarm bells were going off for me. We didn't see him in the overtime. That's an alarm bell. Slavin always plays in overtime. He's too good a skater not to. Not to mention, you don't mind having his defensive ability in a 3-on-3 because invariably, if you don't have the puck, it's a scoring chance. So why not have your best defenseman on the ice? Anyway, here's my plan for Jacob Slavin, and I'm speculating because we don't know what the deal is. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if Slavin has to miss 3 months of the season. The only thing that matters to me as an observer of the Hurricanes, as a fan of the Hurricanes, the only thing that matters is that when we get to March, April, May, and hopefully June, we get the best possible physical version of Slavin. So if that means procedure, I don't know it does or not. If that means rest, I don't care. Get me to March with 74 fully operational. However you have to do that, do it. I don't care. The Hurricanes will make the playoffs even if Jacob Slavin misses the next 3 months. Promise. That's my plan. All right. Very quickly, Rod Brindamore did say, although Freddie Anderson will play tonight, Brindamore did say that we would see Brandon Bussey at some point on this road trip. If I had to guess, I would say the weekend game in Anaheim. I think it's a Saturday night game in Anaheim. That is just my guess. By the way, the Sharks will be debuting the second overall pick this year in the draft, Michael Misa. So if you are wondering, he's a center. This is what he put up statistically last year for the Saginaw Spirit in the Ontario Hockey League. 62 goals, 134 points, in 65 games. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also have
Macklin Celebrini,
too.
who was the first pick in 04.
Right.
In 24.
Is actually very good.
They're both, well, we don't know if Misa is great at the NHL level yet, but Celebrini is dynamite. Yeah, they've got, this is what happens when you finish at the bottom of the standings a lot.
Multiple
Invariably,
years.
you add super talented players to your roster.
And the Blackhawks get a guy who's also a quarterback.
That's right, exactly. But they also got Connor Bedard,
Yeah.
which, of course, was unfortunate, but
Yeah.
for other reasons. All right, so that's where we are tonight, Canes and the San Jose Sharks. If you are listening locally or you just want to get the app, and the app is dynamite, 99.9 The Fan app. Everything is right here. You don't even need to search YouTube to find the Adam Gold Show.
No,
it's
handy
right
dandy.
there.
It's right there.
And also, you get the pregame show with the Hurricanes, and you can even find the Canes Corner podcast, which is also wherever you get your podcast. All right, to the National Football League last night. The Bills and the Washington Commandos each took that L.
Yeah.
What is going on? Buffalo was 4-0, then lost at home to New England, then went to Atlanta and got Bijan Robinson.
Big time.
Holy cow. He went all Rico Dowdle
Yeah, he
on
did.
Buffalo. Do you remember the opening game of the season, Buffalo and Baltimore on Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
Do you remember how the Ravens ran right through the Bills?
Yes.
Right? It led me to think that the Jets could do that the following week, and I was worried for that game, except the Bills absolutely sunned the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the Falcons, who kind of refused to do that against the Panthers, did that to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So Robinson had 170 yards rushing. He had 238 yards from scrimmage. And Raheem Morris and company are now 3-2.
Yeah, he's the best player in football. I've said it multiple times. I can't say it enough. You can always have your pick. You can always go out there and figure out who you want to vote for. But, in my opinion, he's the best player in football.
Okay. I mean, he certainly looked the part last night. Mm-hmm. He was amazing. By the way, Drake London, 158 yards and a touchdown on 10 catches. Amazing. So, Sean McDermott, Buffalo head coach. They were actually in position to tie the game.
Yeah.
Right? It was 21-14. They just block a field goal attempt by Atlanta and then did not pick up a first. What happened?
Nothing.
To the Bills? Anyway, here's Sean McDermott.
Not the result we were looking for. I thought the guys played hard, in particular in the second half, fought through some injuries, guys stepping up. Injuries are not an excuse. There's no such thing as moral victories. But I did think that they battled down to the end right there, which I appreciate. Not good enough in the first half, allowing them to be a two-dimensional offense when they hit us on some long runs, and the receiver comes open, and so I thought we did a good job making adjustments at halftime on the defensive side, and limiting them in the second half and giving our offense some opportunities. Just not enough overall as a team.
I mean, you had enough opportunities. I don't even understand that. You didn't do anything with him, and Atlanta played well.
Mm-hmm.
And the National Football League is a week-to-week proposition.
Right.
We have seen Atlanta look terrible. They lost to the Panthers 30-0.
I was going to say, at least us Carolina Panther fans can hang our hat on shutting them down.
Yeah. Right. So we've seen Atlanta look terrible.
Yeah.
And I've seen Michael Penix look, holy cow, that's bad.
Yeah.
I think he was good last night. I don't think he was great last night. I think he was good last night. But it really was the Bijan Robinson show. And Buffalo just was they were a mess.
Yeah.
They were just a mess. A lot of penalties, again.
Mm-hmm.
Penalties killing. So what did I hear? Like there are 28 penalties in the last 3 games. That's not winning football.
No.
Yeah. So, speaking of not winning football, Washington. So, I thought they were right. Everything was going well. They get Jaden Daniels back. They go to the Chargers, and they thump them. Then you come home against Chicago, and
Yeah.
3 turnovers. And he wasn't better than Bijan Robinson, but DeAndre Swift was pretty good.
Yeah.
Who had 175 yards from scrimmage, 108 yards on the ground, 14 carries. Think about this. None of them were longer than 19 yards. He had a 19-yarder. There were just huge chunks of yards basically every carry.
That game was full of missed opportunities on both sides.
Crazy. Again, the National Football League it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly temporary. Here is Ben Johnson on the win.
I thought it was a really good team win here. That's a really good opponent that we went against in a very hostile environment, and I thought all 3 phases came through for us when needed. So, it was not our cleanest game. We made a number of mistakes, and penalties were an issue, but once again, our team was resilient, and they found a way to win. So very proud of them. I thought defensively the takeaways were huge for us. Obviously, I thought Dennis Allen, I thought the defensive staff did a phenomenal job coming up with a sound game plan. That's a very difficult offense to try to have answers for, and yet they were able to come up with something that we felt good about, and then the guys went out and executed it as well as they possibly could. So big shout out to them.
3 turnovers. You're +3 in turnovers. You needed a game-winning field goal to win the game. Still, Washington is probably better than Chicago, but you still got to go out and win the game. Yeah, Chicago didn't play a perfect game. It was they got out to a nice lead. It was 13-0, and Washington. If you're the Commandos, you're probably thinking, "Yeah, we should have won the game."
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't. Speaking of winning the game, the Panthers can go to 4-3 with a win at the lowly New York Jets on Sunday. We'll talk about that with Darin Gantt from Panthers.com next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
It's not enough to just say it's Bill Belichick's first year. He wasn't supposed to win. The issue is other coaches in their first year have won around the country in many different situations, and they haven't been given all the resources that Bill Belichick has been given. The expectations are higher, but for a reason, and he's not living up to them.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
We have got a ton of sports options these days, from the MLB Playoffs to the NHL kicking off their season, and of course football, but there is always time for some motorcycle therapy. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Law Tigers, and not only do we have our pick of sports these days, but we are also in what I personally believe is the best time to ride. Fall is bringing cooler temps and beautiful sights, but while you're enjoying Mother Nature, make sure to always be aware of your surroundings. Motorcycles can be difficult to spot sometimes, especially if people aren't paying attention. So if you are ever in a wreck on your motorcycle, don't call your insurance company, call Law Tigers first. At Law Tigers, they're just like us. They're riders too, so they get it. They know what it's like to go through an accident. They know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made. So at Law Tigers, case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This party's getting crazy! Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay, now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
For more than 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your scholar athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners.
Ansley Ayers, Brianna McMillan, Samayan Jones, Kristen Norton, Lexi Taylor, EJ Reed, Isabel Woke, Nathan Fife, Rachel Lambert.
This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that help them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to feel like someone's seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
It means a lot to me because my parents, they want me to do well and make it in life. So this is for them. I try to work hard in the classroom and on the court for them and do my best.
I am so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text award to 919-860-5326.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, Chili Lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show.
Panthers are coming back. We're going to the Super Bowl.
I know. It's fine.
Just kidding.
Look, 2 in a row.
Right?
2 in a row. And it was impressive against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. And if I may ask you, I'm not going to accuse you of being a fan of the Panthers. I am certainly not a fan of the Panthers. You certainly have been covering them for as long as I know. So let me just ask you this question. Is there a better visiting fan base to beat than that of the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, if there is, we'll find out in a couple weeks, won't we? When the Buffalo Bills roll into town. Although I don't even know if they count as visiting fan base, because hell, they all live here now.
I know we have plenty. My wife is from the Buffalo area, so just one of our staffers here, our social media director. She was just up at a wedding, but we get it. It's a cool place to live. What impressed you?
It's the center of the universe, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I understand why people want to come here. I just don't appreciate them telling me how to drive.
Yeah, they will do that. There's no doubt about it. What impressed you the most about 30 to 27?
Well, I can say about 30 to 27, but also just about what they've done in general. The Carolina Panthers might be a brand new football team full of analytics and new people and young head coaches and all this kind of stuff. They're playing old school football right now. That team is top 10 in the league in defense, 9th against the run. They're 4th in the league in running the ball. Stop the run is not going to get you invited to the Sloan Sports Analytic Conference, but it sure does work at football, don't it?
Yep.
I mean, and when you can do those things, it's very basic football stuff. And, whenever anybody gets into trouble, what does the coach always say? We're going to go back to basics this week. The Carolina Panthers are doing those quote-unquote basic things, but they're not basic because not everybody can do them, and not everybody can do them in the way they're doing them right now. And it's giving them a chance to do all the other stuff. When you can stop the run, when you can make the Miami Dolphins, Dallas Cowboys one-dimensional, then you've got an opportunity to win a game against two offenses that either are explosive and among the best in the league or have the opportunity to be. And it's a stability that it offers to the entire rest of the operation that allows all the other stuff to grow.
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. We're asking the old guy questions. So it does bring me to I'm going to wait for it's not really a negative question, but I'm going to wait to talk about why they haven't been doing this until the last couple of games. And let me ask you this, because I also think in the last two games, after a very, we'll just call it, less than ideal start against Miami for Bryce Young, did the touchdown pass against, or rather, the touchdown pass to Xavier Legette in the first half of the game against Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did
the
that
one he threw to a place that XL was running in the opposite direction of at the time he threw it?
Yep.
That one?
The trust
throw.
The trust throw. Did that repair Legette and Young at the same time?
Well, I mean, the framing of your question assumes that those two were broken. And again, part of my deal here, and we joke about ask the old guy, but having stood around and watched a lot of football for a long time, you understand it's a long season.
Yep.
So we overreact to things as the media. That's what we do. That's how we keep the lights on at our respective homes. And I guess if you had to say, oh my God, what's wrong with Xavier Legette after 2 weeks of a season? I guess sure, but these are the plays he's capable of. And I keep going back to a conversation I had with Dave Canales about XL back in the offseason, probably before they drafted it was before they drafted T-Mac. And Dave is an old receivers coach, so he starts talking about XL, and he's like, and here's what we want him to – here are the landmarks we want him to hit year 2. Here are the landmarks we want him to hit in year 3. He's thinking 2 and 3 years down the road with this guy. So it's not as if the Carolina Panthers were about to give up on anybody or anything like that. XL's a big, fast guy, and big, fast guys who have shown promise as receivers tend to get a lot of chances, and I think there's a recognition it's a long year. I think for Bryce, sometimes it takes hitting that one to make the next one easier. You got to get a little, we're all human beings. You need positive reinforcement of your habits. And when, things go poorly, you begin to question the habits. But when you do things the right way, the same way every day, things tend to work out for you. And Bryce is certainly a creature of habit. And, he's kind of bounced back. I love the fact that, I think there's some people who try to turn this into a negative, but the guy has won 9 games in his career. 8 of them have been on game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, and 6 of those in the last 16 games he's played. I mean, that's a vibe is what that is, and the fact that he's shown his ability to be resilient within the course of games that haven't gone well, I think that's nothing but a positive for this bunch. And again, it works in concert with what I was talking about early with the run game and the way the offensive line's playing. That allows time for all the other stuff to grow around it. And, it's good. They've gotten back to that normal place. So
Darin Gantt is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I personally thought that Bryce and Legette were broken as a tandem. I loved that throw, and that throw made me go, all right, now there's something we can work with back in the trust tree. We know Teteroa McMillan is going to be an elite receiver. Still has a few too many drops. The pass that went through his hands was the only interception for Bryce in the game against Dallas. But let me get to the run game because it was so good for the last 2 games. And it won't be as good against the Jets because the Jets are much better at stopping it than were the Cowboys or the Dolphins. But it did seem like they committed to it in these 2 games as opposed to maybe the games prior to this. Was that about Dowdle, or was it about, all right, we're going to have to do this the right way?
I mean, I think that's the offense Dave Canales has always wanted to run. I mean, I don't know that Dave's ever met Dan Henning, but the offense he's running is very old school, Joe Gibbs, Washington. We're going to run it a bunch behind a good offensive line and throw it downfield and get our yards in chunks when we have to throw it. And I just think it's such a stable platform to build from that's what a lot of coaches want to do. Dave talks about wanting to stubbornly run the ball. And, it's not even stubborn when you're wheeling off 5 and 6 yards at a time. So when you're never in 3rd and long, it gives you a chance to sustain drives, helps the defense, all that complimentary football stuff that everybody loves to talk about. And it's a good thing. But I just think that's who he is as a coach and a play caller, because he knows that creates more opportunities for all the other stuff to grow. And, when you get somebody on a heater like Rico's on right now, you just turn around and keep handing it to him. Again, Dan Henning famously said, feed the stud, when Steve Smith was the stud. And, Dan probably threw it more than was in his nature. But when you got a Steve Smith on a heater like he was on in 03 to 05, you continue to give it to him. And, that's what they're doing. And that's why I think, I'm sitting here going through mailbag now, writing it for later this afternoon at Panthers.com. And there's a whole bunch of versions of, what are you going to do with Chuba and Rico now?
So, what are you going to do?
You're going to hand it to both of them. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the black and white television days of Stephen Davis and Sean Foster and Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. And the reality is, in a 17-game season especially, one of them's not going to be available for a minute.
Right.
And so you hand it to the other one and let him carry the load. And, there's going to come a point. I think it's also worth remembering that as well as Rico's played the last 2 weeks, there have been stretches in the fourth quarter where he's cramped up and had to come to the sideline and let Trevor Etienne do it. And so I don't think that necessarily happens if Chuba is well and carrying half the load. I mean, during the early part of the season, that snap split was something like 65-35. I think that's going to normalize a little bit. That's probably going to come back closer to – I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where it's only one of them and then the other one's not really doing anything. I mean, it's smart business to let them both go. And, when it's working with one, and then let the other guy sit and get a drink of pickle juice so he doesn't cramp up in the fourth quarter.
I think the one advantage Dowdle definitely has, he seems more comfortable catching the ball out of the backfield than Hubbard. And that, I thought, was a noticeable part of how Carolina approached the game offensively. And I think you need that. I watched, it was such a contrast, Darin. I watched the Jets and the Broncos first, and it is a rarity for me to have a palate cleanser be the Panthers. Especially offensively. But after watching 13-11, which was, I think, objectively the worst football game I've ever watched, NFL football game I've ever watched, and I'm talking about fog games, snow games. There was no excuse for that game to be that bad, but it was. I thought the Panthers and the Cowboys was just super entertaining, and the right team won. The mission against the Jets, I don't know if Garrett Wilson is going to play. I'm not sure it matters because they can't get the ball to him. I don't know who J.C. Horn's going to cover. So the Panthers are road favorites now. When was the last time the Panthers were favored on the road?
That's, since I don't invest in those markets, that's a tough question for me to answer because gambling's illegal here at Bushwood, and I never slice. But it's the challenge for the Carolina Panthers this week is to, here's that word again, normal. Be normal on the road. Carry that good football from home where you run the ball and stop the run. Justin Fields did not have a great game last week. This just in. But Justin Fields is a guy that can run around and create problems for people because of the way he plays. Now, if you don't play disciplined run defense, can Justin Fields create problems for you? Of course he can, And is Steve Wilks and what has been a pretty salty defense capable of giving a team problems? It is. And don't think for a second Steve's not, lathered up for this game. He wants to prove to people those guys don't want to be 0-6. So the Panthers aren't at a point in their development as a team to take anybody lightly in the NFL.
No, they shouldn't.
Nobody is at that point, really. So, look at last night's game. Buffalo's the team we all had penciled into the Super Bowl this year, and they got worked by Atlanta, who lost 30-0 here a couple weeks ago. So it's, it's the circle of life in the NFL, and that stuff all rolls around. But I think this is a big week for them not from a win-loss standpoint, but from a just play the same way you did the last 2 weeks.
There's a responsibility.
In a different building, in a place you don't live. So, I think we'll see how it all goes, but this team is getting to a place of stable and normal that it hadn't been for a minute, and that's a good thing. So now they just got to keep building on it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I personally believe that winning a game that you're supposed to win, and that's probably a stretch for talking about the Panthers. This is not disrespectful. Any game saying that they're supposed to win this game, and they are a very, very slight favorite on the road. By the way, November 14th, 2021 in Atlanta, last time the Panthers were road favorites in a game. And I have to go back.
They didn't win that game either, did they?
I have probably not in Atlanta.
Because 2021 was when they won the first 3, got to 5-5 in the Cam Newton I'm back game in Arizona, and finished the season by losing 7 straight. That one?
Probably not. Probably not a win. But I've always thought that when people think you're supposed to win a game, those games for a team that is trying to break through and establish something, those are the hardest games to win. It's easier to pull off an upset than it is to win a game that you are theoretically supposed to win. And I think that will be the biggest challenge for this group. Final thing for you, we only have about a minute. Because I think the bigger story of the game, and you mentioned it earlier, was their defense, making Dallas one-dimensional. Dak Prescott and George Pickens could not beat them. They got enough pressure on the quarterback, but ultimately it was Derek Brown and the run defense doing work. What have you seen on that side of the ball?
Well, I've seen a lot more people, and I've seen a lot more Derek Brown, and that makes a big difference in anything. We got a picture on Panthers.com the other day of Derek Brown towering over Terrence Steele, the Cowboys tackle. Terrence Steele's 6'6", 320. And Derek was standing over the top of him the way I would stand over a small child. I mean, it's like, holy cow, that's Derek Brown we're talking about. I mean, listen, Dan Morgan did this intentionally. He played on them old John Fox teams that were run, stop the run. So the fact that he built his team by investing in offensive linemen last year, defensive linemen this year, and adding a Derek Brown to the mix, I mean, that's on purpose. That's what he knows, and that's what he's trying to create here. So the run defense, to have set all the records they set in that area last year, to have been 32nd in all the defensive stuff, and now to look up and see them 9th in the league in run defense, that is not a statement I thought I was going to be making. I mean, I thought if this team could get to decent at defense, if they could be 16, 17, 18, somewhere in that range, that would be a good thing. That would be a good step considering where they were building from a year ago, and they've surpassed that already. Now you just got to keep doing it. And again, as you said, that's a challenge for a young team.
Yep.
You got to learn how to do those kind of things. You got to learn how to win on the road. That's a thing. You've got to learn how to play as a favorite. That's a skill you've got to learn as much as, wham blocks or whatever football jargon you want to throw on it. I mean, It's just, it's a muscle you've got to exercise, and they haven't built it up quite yet, but, we'll see. They're doing a lot of stuff they hadn't done in a minute.
Darin Gantt, Ask the Old Guy, Panthers.com, at Darin Gantt on Twitter, 2 T's for extra talent. Real quick, don't believe everything Google AI tells you, because the information I just gave you about the opponent was wrong. It was actually that game at Arizona when they were the last favorite. But I have to go back and double-check that because Google sucks. Darin,
listen, don't trust artificial intelligence. Trust actual intelligence.
The real AI. Darin, thank you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. See y'all.
You got it. Darin Gantt here. We'll do one-timers. We already have a question in the hopper, and I'm going to do that research next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. I know Week 7 of the NFL doesn't start for a couple of days, but let's plan ahead, shall we? And FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff for the week with an offer you don't want to miss, because new customers We're trying to bring you under the tent here. Bet $5, win that bet, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick something easy, win it, get $300 of FanDuel's money. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Get the app today and get started. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your discounted tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you are buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. I'm efforting correct information on the last time the Panthers were road favorites. Google had it all wrong. Their Panthers were actually 7-point underdogs in Arizona that game.
Those robots.
Hate it. Hate it. Last time the Panthers were road favorites, November 28th at Miami. They were 2.5-point favorites. They lost 33-10. And this comes directly from our friend Will Brinson.
Oh,
I don't need a website. I have Will.
Yeah.
All right. One-timers.
Okay, well, kicking things off from our Twitters. Justin wants to know, how much caffeine do you consume on these 10 p.m. puck drops?
All right, now, there's a system. One, not that much caffeine throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
For me, everybody's different. Not that much caffeine throughout the day. Try to limit that. And then at about 4 o'clock today,
Yeah.
I will slam a Celsius.
Yeah.
Celsius works much better than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, I will do a Celsius this afternoon. It'll keep me awake anyway for the ride home, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, well,
but that's what I do.
And there you go. For me, not having
Plus
to do
adrenaline.
a post-show. Yeah, I know. The next day is also Celsius for me. The post, let's wake up and do things day. Okay, well, next up, this isn't from the same Justin, but a different Justin on our YouTube stream. He says, not to rehash Saturday night, but do you think the Canes' psyche was changed knowing their best defenseman was not going to be around for overtime, and will that carry over onto this road trip?
I don't think anything, no, I don't think any of that impacts. Long-term, if it's a long-term absence, it matters. Short-term absence, I forget how many years ago it was, Carolina missed Jacob Slavin for like 7 games. They won all 7. So short-term absence, Carolina will be better. Now, they were probably better equipped then with Shea and Pesce and whatnot, but I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about the road trip without Jacob Slavin. I'm worried about the last 3 months of the season, and that's why I want to see him take it easy. We'll start it over next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. And you know, people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $12,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500. Includes trade assistance. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The old Bill Belichick would fire the new Bill Belichick in 5 seconds. Right? right. That's insane. Like, this is do your job. This is, remember, like, no days off? Like, that was that not the Patriots slogan during one of these runs? This is what I think is going on. I think Belichick is realizing this is over. I think everybody on the outside, but I think North Carolina does not want to give up on the dream that they agreed to as the highest paid employee in the entire state is not working out so well.
Oh, man. Aaron Goldhammer from ESPN Radio. Everybody's got takes on Bill Belichick.
Everybody.
By the way, I'm not saying any of them are wrong.
I wonder if Jordan still wants to trademark those sayings. Like no days off and whatever crap she was trying to do.
Here's the thing about, and we're going to get into a bunch of things here. Brendan Marks is going to join us in about 20 minutes. We'll talk a little hoops. Basketball season is going to begin in, 2 weeks? Carolina's top 25. Duke is 6th. State is like the first also receiving votes team in the AP preseason poll. I mean, I think this could be one of those rare years where all 3 teams are good.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me today that NC State won the league, I would go, yeah, okay. I can see it. Because I think they're going to be legitimately good. And you don't know how any team is going to react, but we'll talk hoops with Brendan Marks. He also was part of the coverage of The Athletic on Belichick, and I might do hoops first and then ask him a couple of questions about that. But just getting back to what the soundbite is that we came back after the break, and this is the Adam Gold Show. Follow us on YouTube, download the podcast, subscribe to it, shows up automatically. And by all means, give us a rating, whatever. At the beginning of this entire experiment, I said something that is proving to be true every single day. Never would there be given more attention to a college football program, ever. There hasn't been. I don't know how you measure this. And I said at the time, even if it doesn't go well, and I think you could argue that there would be more attention if it didn't, this is going to absolutely blow people's minds. Now, the administration of the university probably isn't thrilled that it is in many ways negative. It's not negative publicity. It's a train wreck, and everybody is gawking and rubbernecking at it. But they are talking about this on ESPN all day.
Yeah.
Whether it's ESPN Radio or whether it's First Take or Get Up.
Or Pat McAfee.
Right? They are discussing what's going on here. My 2 cents, I gave them to you yesterday. We'll start with this here in this hour. I guess this could be the second, take 2. Is that I don't think Bill Belichick would fire Bill Belichick. I don't think that. I think Bill is doing what Bill knows how to do. Unfortunately, what he doesn't know, and what Michael Lombardi doesn't know, and what basically everybody else on that coaching staff doesn't know, is how to build a college football program. I think Bill believes he's doing the best job right now for this group, because Bill doesn't see anybody coaching better than Bill. Just what it is. But to be honest, he doesn't know how to coach these guys.
No.
He can individually improve skills, I think. Of course, we can't see it. But they don't have a program. They don't have an environment conducive to these guys getting better as a team. They don't. And Bill's detached from all of it. The coaches, in many ways, are detached from all of it. And Michael Lombardi, there's a good article on Sports Illustrated right now of the players that Carolina had and let go that would help them be better, because they don't have good enough players. So I don't think Bill would fire Bill, but I do think that if he doesn't make changes within the program, does that have to include Michael Lombardi? Probably. If he doesn't make changes within the program, I don't think they have a chance to be successful. Not a chance. I don't think they're going to high school recruit their way out of this mess in 1 or 2 classes unless they are both the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country. And we know that's not going to happen. Fact. All right. Let's get to the fact that the Hurricanes are on the road in San Jose tonight for game number 1 of this deep-fried road trip. And why don't we begin with the head coach, Rod Brindamore? All right, let's hear about Jacob Slavin, sir. Good to go?
Maybe. He's getting looked at again, and so he didn't feel great at the end of the game. That's still to be TBD, I think.
Is it the same thing that bothered him at the end of last season?
Not really sure. I think it's related, but not entirely.
No information will be given.
Right.
It's okay. My understanding is that Jacob Slavin will not play tonight. I don't believe he is in California yet. That doesn't mean he won't fly out. Just like Rod said with Pyotr Kochetkov, won't start the road trip. That doesn't mean he will not join the team at some point. They are going to be gone for 2 full weeks. 2 weeks from today, they will play a game at Lenovo Center. 2 weeks from today. So they are on the road for the next 6. Top lines certainly looked a little bit better. I actually thought that it was interesting that Jarvis and Aho combined for the goal, because I thought it was among the more, and everything is relative to what your overall abilities are. It was one of the more lackluster games that Aho, Jarvis, and now Ehlers, small sample size for the trio, but not for Aho and Jarvis. They were not really all that good. They were not that good in any end of the ice. But it was interesting that they did get the goal. I thought Stankov and Blake and Svechnikov were better, more the pair of Stankov and Blake than Andre. But it's at least these guys are getting on the score sheet. And Rod talked about the top lines.
Yeah, they got to, that line has to be impactful every night. I mean, that's just the nature of it. If you're going to put those guys together. So we got to get them on the score sheet. They can't be giving up goals either. So that's a tough assignment, but, we're definitely something that we're going to keep going with.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to pull the plug on anything after 2 games. Carolina is designed to be led offensively by those 2 lines and get contributions from that other scoring line, which for games 1 and 2 was Kokaniemi, Hall, and Robinson. At the practice yesterday, it seemed to be Jankowski, Robinson, and Hall. We'll see how it lines up tonight. All right, let's get to a few other matters, including Dave Canales and the Panthers. It was Panther talk last night on a Monday. So he was asked the question, Darin Gantt and I talked about it. What happens when Chuba Hubbard comes back? You have Rico Dowdle, who is the best running back we have ever seen.
It's a great problem to try to figure out, but everybody knows we have to find ways to get Rico involved. And we know who Chuba is. We know what he's about. And if you don't think Chuba's chomping at the bit to get back out there, and be a part of what's happening here with this run game, he's excited to get back out there. And but again, we'll have to figure that part out. Brad and I have had a bunch of conversations about how to do that best. There are some examples around the league of systems where 2 backs are being really productive. So we have to kind of take a page out of their notebook and see if we can make it happen for us.
Back to the Panthers and the Jets. Actually, let's hear one more from Dave Canales because even though their injuries have taken away Robert Hunt, who was a huge part of their offensive line last year, and Austin Corbett, the starting center, although I think Cade Mays has been better than we had seen from Austin Corbett. And Brady Christensen's done a pretty good job at right guard. The offensive line looks like it's coming together.
His confidence, his aggressiveness, his passion for the game, and a bunch of guys in that offensive line room, they have such a great culture in there that they've created. They spend a lot of time together. They have all these games and things that they do, and they got the best snacks in the building.
Yes, they do.
You sneak into the O-line room. Absolutely. And, got to credit Michael Tarquin and some of the younger linemen for restocking those. But they spend a lot of time together, and they build that chemistry. It matters to them. They hold each other accountable. They're always working.
Best snacks in the building.
I mean, if you're going to bring it up, you got to say what they are.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. All right, so because Will Brinson is the head of our research department, I can't tell you how much information Will has sent me.
Oh boy,
it is insane, absolutely insane. I love Will either way, but the last time the Panthers were favored in a road game was the game it was actually October. No, I'm sorry, November 28th, 2021, a game at Miami. They were 2.5-point favorites and lost 33-10. The time before that was a game at the Giants in October. They were favored by 3, and they lost that game 25-3. They got blown out the last 2 times they were road favorites. And they have traditionally not done well, not only as road favorites, but they have also traditionally not done well. Their last 7 games when entering exactly 500, they are 3-3. 2021, week 7. Actually, week 2025, week 1, game 1, lost. 2024, week 1, lost. 2023, week 1, lost. 2022, week 1, lost. 2021, week 11, lost. 2021, week 9, lost. 2021, week 7, Giants, lost. So, 0-7. I'm not saying anything. I'll have my feeling
right
about what's going to happen Sunday at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Okay?
We should just vibe it like goalie interference.
I've told you twice, 2 in a row. Yeah. Panthers are winning. We'll see if I can do it for a third time. I will say this. The Jets are awful.
They are.
Awful. And to this point, I think they are losing on purpose. That's it. Like, do I really think they're losing on purpose? It seems like they are.
Appears.
All right, real quick. Tough week for college football coaches. James Franklin fired at Penn State a year after going 13-3. They made it to the college football playoff semifinals. He won more than 100 games at Penn State in less than 12 seasons. I don't care how subpar their non-conference schedule was. And yes, his record against top 25 teams was sub 500, significantly below, not quite as bad as other coaches who might coach at NC State has been against top 25 teams, but significantly below 500, like 11-29, something like that. Whatever the number is, it's not good. But he won more than 100 games at Penn State in less than 12 years. It is amazing that that guy got fired midstream. Set that aside for 1 second. Oregon State fired their head coach in the middle of an 0 for however many games they've played this year start. And do not accuse me of knowing the name of that head coach. I just know that he was fired. Alabama Birmingham dropped Trent Dilfer as head coach. We all remember the name Trent Dilfer, right? He's the head coach at UAB. They resurrected their program, named him the head coach, and he was not very nice to the local media. They were not very good at footballing, and so eventually they decided, well, we'll just drop Trent. They're playing football. They're just going to have a new head coach. And to bring it full circle, UNC lost to the bye week 27-17. I don't know if you knew that, but they lost a game they didn't play. Anyway, they play at Cal. Two of the biggest names in the mix for the Penn State job?
Oh, yes, I know
right?
At least one.
Curt Cignetti, who is doing things at Indiana that nobody ever imagined anyone could do in modern college football. They're ranked third in the country. Third, Indiana. And Nebraska's Matt Rule. They're in the rankings.
Yeah.
They are they're 5-1, they're 25th. Here's Rule on interest in the Penn State job.
Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. We've won at Temple, and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team. But, I absolutely love it here. And I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast. And players all across the country want to come here. We have the best facilities. We have elite fans. And, I'm just looking at the future. So, but again, I love that place. I love Pat. I love James Franklin. I'm sad that came to an end. I wish him the absolute best, but I'm really happy here and excited to get going this week on Minnesota.
His voice makes me nauseous.
Here's the thing about Matt Rule. I'm going to say this and then we're going to break. Matt Rule would be a better coach at North Carolina than Bill Belichick by a million miles.
Unfortunately.
A million miles.
Yeah.
And Matt Rule was a clown as an NFL coach. And because of that, we will always treat him as such. Because he had this crazy way of presenting himself. But Matt Rule's a good college football coach. He was good at Temple. He was good at Baylor. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to win big at Nebraska. But he's at least made Nebraska credible. He'd be way better at UNC than Bill Belichick. Anyway, Brendan Marks. When we come back, hoops, Carolina, Duke, State, and maybe a little Bill. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and San Jose.
Svechnikov scores! That's the magic! We're tied at 3!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop at 10.
Game over! Series over! Sebastian Aho wins it in
official audio home of Hurricanes hockey. 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. He is the man who physically prevented me from paying closing costs since I met him in 1999. Here's the thing. There are a lot of lenders out there that pretend to offer no closing cost mortgages. However, many times they just roll the closing cost into the loan amount, or they're not true closing cost options. At Miller Lending, no fees of any kind, and it gives you the freedom to refinance free of charge when the rates come down. I have done this several times. Last time I refinanced with Miller Lending, I saved over $300 a month on my mortgage payment. Did I pay closing costs for it? Nope. Did not. Never have. MillerLending.com online. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Dr. Craig McGiffin with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots? Whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 70,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks, without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs significantly less and tends to work much faster. Ready for real, lasting results? Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. I've lost 40 pounds thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, but most importantly, I've been maintaining that weight as well. The Raleigh Weight Loss Center program has successfully helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. Schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Call Raleigh Weight Loss Center at 919-897-7506 or visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's what.
The Adam Gold Show.
See Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria in the 1s and 2s. Brendan Marks will join us in about 3-4 minutes. We'll talk hoops. AP poll came out yesterday. For those people unaware, Purdue, preseason number 1. Duke was number 6. Louisville, number 11. North Carolina, 25. NC State led the group that was also receiving votes. And frankly, I'm not 100% surprised. I actually thought in my opinion, I thought State could have easily been ranked, and as it turned out, could have been. When you look at the roster transformation that Will Wade has engineered, they're legitimately good, I think. and will be very, very difficult to play against. We know that Will Wade does not have one particular way of coaching. My feeling was that Kevin Keats did, that he wanted to coach, his preferred style of play, that there was a specific, needed to get, pressure defense, force turnovers, try to get out and run in transition. And I thought it was difficult for him to build that style of team because they just never had continuity of roster. I think Will can coach any possible way. I think he's a really dynamite basketball coach. I think he's got a great way of running a program. I look forward. I love his honesty, including about stuff that, that impacts him. I think it's going to be fun to watch them play all year long. I think NC State fans are going to have a blast. Duke, we know what they're about. They're about trying to find as many, blue chip players as possible, and then kind of find little cracks in that they have to fill through the transfer portal. It's hard to do that every year. And I know John Shire's talked about it, getting over last year. And that was a tough one because last year is one where, objectively speaking, I don't know. I have no idea if they're going to beat Florida in the national championship game. But that was a blown opportunity to get to the national championship game. The come-from-ahead loss to Houston was born out of, I don't know if it was nerves or, not dealing with the pressure. Houston was never going to give up. And Duke still had the lead, a 2-possession lead late, and just could not drag it to the finish line. And I'm sure they agonized over that. I'm sure John Shire agonized over it for at least a little bit, because you have to. You got to figure out, okay, what could I have done differently? You have to self-scout. So, how does Duke bounce back from that? Without a Cooper Flagg, they have got great players, but how do you bounce back from that without a Cooper Flagg? We'll find out when all of it begins coming up in basically a little bit more than 2 weeks. Early November, everybody starts. And then we've got college football, the college basketball, the NBA, the NHL, and the NFL all going on at the same time, which means I never sleep. And honestly, it means that Brendan Marks never sleeps from The Athletic. He joins us on the Adam Gold Show. You've been very busy, but now basketball season is here, so it's time for you to get to the day job. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to have been busy up until now. This was supposed to be my hibernation. This is not the typical arrangement of things.
So I think I've talked to you about this. Did you have a vacation planned where you were just going to go driving throughout New England, and then the editors found out about it and said, "Hey, would you do me a favor and go knock on this door in Nantucket?"
Trust me, if I had the option to just enjoy a Nantucket vacation and not do any door knocking or calling or anything, I've had enough doors slammed in my face for a lifetime. I certainly would not have opted for that, but that was a one-of-one experience. I don't know that I'll ever be assigned that sort of assignment again.
When Bill answered the door, was that the most awkward moment you have ever had in your life?
It's definitely up there. However, I will say this: I'm not sure who was more surprised, if it was him or if it was me. And because I called my wife right after, and she had the incredibly astute point. When do you think was the last time that Bill Belichick actually answered the door for a solicitor? So, he was as surprised to see me as I was to see him, and we fumbled. I'll be honest with you. I probably talked to him more in those 5 minutes on his front porch than I have since he's been the coach at North Carolina.
My God. Was he nice to you?
Yeah, pretty nice. He was not interested in small talk.
Sure.
I asked him asked him how Chapel Hill was treating him, if he had any favorite, restaurants or places yet, gave him some recs. He was not interested in any of my information.
All right, let's get to basketball. Man, you hooked me on the article, so it's how good you are. Like no joke, it's how good you are that I devoured all of that in a time where I was adamantly opposed to any and all Jordan Hudson gossip. But you hooked me, Brendan Marks. All right, let's get to the hoops. Let's start with Carolina. Because obviously they've been watching Duke do Duke things for a couple of years. And now State looks like they are building something. I know it's early. It's year one. We haven't even played a game yet. But I have all the faith in the world that Will Wade's going to have a very good program over in Raleigh. What has been this type of transition? I think Carolina's got a dynamite roster. We saw Visar, throughout the NCAA tournament, dynamite player. Caleb Wilson, we know, is a very good player. They got good bones over there. So what do you think about the Tar Heels?
Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic that this can be a top 25 team most of the season. I think, again, you look, like you mentioned, the pieces are there. And last year when you looked at North Carolina, you had questions about the front court, and they instantly materialized. You had questions about, the rebounding. You had questions about the interior scoring. You had questions about the defense, and they all materialized, and you just don't have those same questions. It's almost a complete role reversal where this year's team could be one of the biggest and best defensive teams in the ACC and possibly the country. I mean, in Henry Vesar, Caleb Wilson, and in theory you can put Jaron Stevenson at the 3, which I think North Carolina do for bouts this season. That's 6'9", 6'10", 7 feet with 7-foot wingspans across the board. All 3 of whom can switch out and guard on the perimeter. I mean, that is going to be one of the best defensive front courts in the entire nation. And again, if you look 2 seasons ago when North Carolina was a 1 seed and won the ACC regular season, it did it on the strength of its defense. So I think this team has top 10, top 15 defensive potential. If I have a question, my biggest one is I don't think there is an R.J. Davis on this team. I don't think there is a go-to scorer. I don't think there's a guy who's going to average 18, 19 points per game. Are you going to get consistent production from some of these other guys? I think, some nights it's going to be Seth Trimble. Some nights I think it's going to be Luka Bogovac, who I would not be surprised if he ends up being the best offensive player in this team. Some nights it's going to be Vesar. Some nights it's going to be Kyan Evans. Are you going to get enough consistent scoring production from those guys to complement your defensive intensity? I think they will. They spent like a top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a top 25 team. I think it's a second weekend NCAA tournament team. And quite frankly, for Hubert Davis's sake, I almost think that's where North Carolina needs to make it to squall any questions about his future with the program.
Will they shoot it well enough?
I think so. Bogovac has, one of the prettiest shots that I've seen in college in quite some time. And I guess for a 22-year-old freshman, he should have a pretty good shot. Kyan Evans, again, he can lace it up. I think Visar, he's not like a corner 3-point shooter, but he certainly can elevate to the top of the key and knock some down. Jaron Stevenson has shown that that's in his potential. Derek Dixon, 6'5" freshman, has kind of flown under the radar a little bit. I think he could wind up being one of this team's best shooters. Jonathan Powell's an amazing shooter from West Virginia. It's going to be, how does Hubert Davis balance some of those perimeter minutes to make sure that he always has the offensive spacing he needs while not sacrificing what this team can be defensively.
Brendan Marks from The Athletic at Brendan R. Marks on Twitter. I know for most of the last several years you have covered both Carolina and Duke, and I'm going to get to Duke, but I am curious. We all saw Darian Williams in the NCAA tournament. We know how good of a player he is. State has a very good team had a very good team before they added Darian Williams to the roster. What does he specifically do for the Wolfpack? Because like I said earlier, if somebody told me that State ended up winning the league, I would go, okay, because I think they have a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I have questions about NC State's rebounding, but I told Will Wade this a couple of weeks ago. He has made my job much more difficult because I am now going to have to consistently cover a third team in the triangle. I think NC State is going to be that good right off the bat. And again, they have the pieces where I'm expecting them the last 2 weeks of February going into the last week of March. I'm expecting them to be in the conversation for ACC champions. I think Duke and Louisville are still a tier above.
Right.
But then you look at North Carolina, you look at NC State, you look at Virginia. I would not at all be surprised if those 5 are jockeying for position the last 2-3 weeks of the season. And Darian Williams especially. He's an All-American caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
He just is. He does a little bit of everything, especially on this NC State roster, which doesn't necessarily have tremendous size on the front court. His ability to be a stretch 4, somebody who you can score inside, but also obviously he can shoot it from deep. He can do a lot of things. He can handle the ball. He can rebound. He is going to be the do-everything guy for Will Wade in year one. And for NC State to land a player of that caliber in the first place, NC State beat out Kansas for a potential first-round pick who decided he wanted to come back to school. I hope NC State fans realize that is the new standard here with Will Wade. That is going to be, you have a yearly competitive team for as long as Will Wade is in Raleigh, in my opinion. I am 100% in on what they're selling. Have been fortunate enough to go over and see them a couple of times. The guy who nobody's talking about, who they need to be talking about, who I think could wind up being the best offensive player in that team is Paul McNeil.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a breakout season coming. And again, like you said, Adam, if the last week of February you told me NC State's in second or third in the league with a chance to win it all, I wouldn't be surprised in the least.
Yeah, and part of it is that I think Will Wade is just that good as a coach. And by the way, Paul McNeil, the rare non-portal ad, he's a holdover. Holy cow, you can actually hang out at a program and get better and have an impact. All right, to Duke, are they deep enough? Because I know last year it looked like they had 11 players. Do they have 8 or 9 this year? What is your take on what Duke has in terms of their roster?
Yeah, to me, this is, another Final Four capable roster. I'm not going to say that it's as good as last year's team because, quite frankly, in my opinion, last year's Duke team was an all-timer. I think they were one of the 10 or 15 best teams we've seen in college basketball in the last, quarter century. I think they were I think that last year's Duke team is going to wind up being John Sire's version of 1999.
Yep.
It's the one that got away. However, Cam Boozer, Patrick Gongba, Malik Brown, that's as good a front court rotation as you're going to find in the country. I think Boozer's going to be not just ACC Player of the Year caliber good. I think he's got a strong chance to be All-American caliber good. Different kind of player than Cooper Flagg. He's bigger. I think you're going to see a lot more big-to-big ox and between him and Ngongba this year. But just a sensational all-around do-everything player who's been even better than Duke staff anticipated he'd be. On the wings, sort of pick and mix your poisons. You've got Isaiah Evans. You've got Darren Harris, who I think has probably been the biggest. I know you talk about a guy who's hung out at a program and gotten better.
Yeah.
Darren Harris is going to play this year. Nick Hemenia comes in. He's a little bit bigger, but can still play at the 3. Can do some things that Con Knipple did last year. Dame Sarr comes in. He's a crazy athlete. You mix and match all those guys, I think you're in good shape. The real big question I have for Duke is who is your lead guard, and what is the level of play you're getting from that spot consistently. Caleb Foster has had some really good moments in a Duke uniform. I thought he was fantastic in the Final Four against Houston. I thought he should have played a lot more in the second half than he did. Is he able to be that guy on a nightly basis? And that doesn't mean he's scoring 15 points a game. If he gives you 10 and 4 and 2, that might be all you need from him on a consistent basis to be a Final Four caliber team. What does Caden Boozer give you? How ready is he right off the gun? How much does his chemistry with his brother influence his playing time? That's my big question with Duke. But again, the top of college basketball overall is not going to be as good as last year. Any team that was in the Final Four last year would be, in my opinion, by far and away the front runner to win the chip this year. Duke is going to be in the mix, and if they can answer that lead guard question, I think they have a chance to rise up and become one of the favorites.
Can I ask this question? And granted, I have been sort of, immersed in hockey. I'm still coming off the Ryder Cup. I have a lot of things going on. I did not hear Isaiah Evans mentioned. Where are we with him?
That's an oversight on my part.
Okay,
he's going to be a huge piece of what Duke does. Listen, I will say,
Thank you.
That's totally on me. On me. He is going to be a huge piece of what Duke does. The thing that I think I want to see out of him, and right? Like if I ask you, what is Duke's identity under John Shire? And you've seen now 3 years of teams. You've seen Derek Lively. You've seen Malawat.
Yeah, defense.
It's defense. And Isaiah Evans and defense are not always two words that I think, came first to mind together last year. I think he made strides as the season went on, major strides. His body, he's worked on it. He's still slim, but he has put on the muscle that he needed to this summer. Can you get him to buy in on that defensive end consistently? Because offensively, there's no reason he can't be one of the leading scorers on this team, one of the leading three-point shooters in the country. I mean, if you go back and you look, statistically, if he had played enough minutes to qualify, he would have been a top 10 high major three-point shooter last year. He is that electric. Defensively, he has to be up to the task, though, to warrant the playing time that he is going to have. I have no questions about his effectiveness or whatsoever, but for Duke to maintain that defensive culture that it has with Shire through his first 3 seasons, Evans is going to have to take a leap on that end to match his defense with his offense.
And I would also like to see him be more than just a shooter. I think throughout the season he was more apt to just get the ball, pull the trigger, than he was to add other elements to his game, because I think he can be a slasher and I think he can be a creator. But you're right about the defensive part. I was just wondering if I had missed an injury or something, because, again, I've been immersed in a lot of other things. Brendan Marks, final thing for you, and I appreciate this is going to be one question about the current I'll use a Yiddish word, surus going on over the tumult going on in Chapel Hill. Because I don't think it's a must-win for the Tar Heels this week, Friday night. I think it's a must play well. I think they can quell a lot of issues by simply looking like they're a competitive, competent outfit, even if they don't win at Cal, because Cal's good.
Yeah, I think where I land, I don't disagree with you. I think they need to play well. I think they need to play hard. The thing that has kind of defined these losses to me, obviously the scope and the final score gets to you, but as much as anything, it's the way things avalanche. The end of the second quarter against TCU, first play after halftime. You talk about those first couple of minutes, 4 35-yard plays in the first quarter against Clemson. The avalanche, where in 4 or 5 minutes the team goes from, okay, we're competitive to this game is over and we look mentally checked out. That's what can't happen. So I think that's important. But look, I keep trying to sing this from the mountaintops. The money and the egos in play in Chapel Hill do not make it viable for North Carolina to move on from Bill Belichick anytime sooner than the end of the year. And that would still cost North Carolina $30 million, which would be the largest buyout that has ever been paid in the state of North Carolina. Fans might not want to hear that. UNC is committed to this. Bill Belichick, I will say this, for all the things that have swirled in reports and everything, I do think that he enjoys college coaching, and the players and coaches who we've spoken to who are around him say that in terms of actually teaching football, it is there. The question for me is, can you bridge the gap with the motivation? Can you get guys to play hard? Can you get them to care about you and the program? Those are the things that I think are going to be on display against Cal. Again, I don't think it's going to be a must-win. I don't know how many wins are left on the schedule for North Carolina, even considering how soft the schedule is. But in order to convince people, especially on the heels of a bye and all of the headlines and the drip of the last 2 weeks, you do have to come out, play hard, like you said, look competitive. And if another one of those avalanches happens where they go from, down 7 to down 28 in 5 minutes, that I think is where, all the stuff that's come out in the last 2 weeks, it's just going to continue to snowball.
Brendan Marks, you and I are in alignment about this year. I don't think anybody wants to pull the plug. I think Bill's reputation in some ways is kind of on the line here. I think he's planning on this being not just this year, but next year and the year after. I think he's planning on that because I think he is invested in it, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it to some people. And I agree that the egos involved at the university are not about to let this go, and they don't want to part with $30 million for somebody to not coach. This is not Penn State. Brendan R. Marks on Twitter. You do an awesome job, sir. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. We're less than 3 weeks away from everything really mattering in hoops. Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, as always.
You got it. Brendan Marks, absolutely phenomenal. All right, we're going to do top 5, bottom 5 later, less than an hour from now, because I know that everybody needs to know who the top 5 and bottom 5 teams are in the league. But when we come back, we'll stretch and we will place bets. Did I do all right yesterday? I don't know. But we'll find out next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck. Shoot, he scores! The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Medicare open enrollment period runs through December 7th. This is your annual opportunity to review your Medicare health plan or Medicare prescription drug plan and make sure you're getting the best coverage to meet your needs for the next year. Be sure to review your Medicare, your handbook, and the annual notice of change from your current plan. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties. There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your discounted tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We needed, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
One Adam.
Gold.
One Adam.
Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself?
Ah!
Because I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgers-y of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
So, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. So I was not very successful yesterday. I think we lost everything. But that's all right. We're back on it today.
Yeah, I was halfway.
When we place our bets. It didn't matter because Milwaukee lost. So you didn't care whether or not you won actual wagers.
Yeah, no, but at least my Dodgers under 7.5 won. It was, what was it? It was +2 something. And I was like, yeah, even though I took the Bills yesterday, so that didn't come through. It was +225. Dodgers under 7.5 yesterday.
You won. Congratulations. And it doesn't even matter whether or not there were real units. There was personal, petty satisfaction involved.
Petty pennies.
All of it.
That's what it was.
All of it. All right, it's time to stretch.
Well, if you are, Brendan Marks and I were talking about spooky season because his neighbor was decorating her house across the street, which I was telling him, I wonder if he's watched any of these movies because there's actually a science behind the scariest movies.
Really?
Apparently. Who knows? They have
I'm
not.
sure there's a class you can take in college. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, there probably is. That's definitely a thing. I probably would have taken one if it was at my college.
Yeah.
However, the Science of Scare Project came out with their 2025 list of the scariest movies according to science. Now, the test subjects wore heart monitors to track their heartbeat through each movie. So
Interesting.
I guess this is their logic because they really don't dive into any more of the science. I'll tell you right now, I thought it was going to talk about the scariest movies are the ones that could actually be real, because that's facts.
Well, the scariest movies are not the Friday the 13th Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No offense, and that's fine. If people like them, that's fine. I don't like the Fast and the Furious movies either.
Oh, yeah.
I was not really into the Terminator movies.
Mm-hmm.
The scary movies are the Silence of the Lamb type movies. Cape Fear.
Yeah.
The remake of Cape Fear.
I know.
With De Niro and Nick Nolte. Those are scary movies to me.
Exactly. The ones that are just with crazy people. Because it's not ghosts and goblins. It's like psychos out here.
Yeah.
So they said that the top 10, we have Talk to Me, which I've never heard of, but that came out in 2022. Then we have The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Also, if people believe, you could be possessed, which we probably all met someone. Also, Smile 1 and 2. Yeah. Smile 2 came out recently, so I definitely haven't seen that one. The Conjuring, Insidious. I have never heard of this. Skinamarkin? I don't know what that is. Also, Host, and then Sinister is number 1. So, which I also feel is part of the Conjuring, maybe group of movies, collection, I guess you would call it.
All right.
I don't know. They're kind of creepy, but yeah, ghosts and goblins. Ooh. I know the Blair Witch Project had a lot of people nervous when they thought it was real, but that was back in the day. I couldn't watch it because that made me sick. All that running around and stuff, I can't do all that.
Have you seen the original Exorcist?
Of course. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of scary movies because I don't know. I like to terrify myself.
See, I'd much rather watch movies like that.
Yeah, that's legit.
I'm not interested in the other stuff.
That's legit. Well, if you have your favorite movie, put it in the YouTube stream. But until then, we have to pick our favorite bets.
Place your bets. Do you? I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you nothing.
All right, I'm going to try to do better, and
Okay.
I've got an array. So
Yeah.
you go first.
So, I'm gonna I'm gonna use some petty pennies again today. And they have Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers. So give me the Dodgers to win because I can. And
Yeah.
I'll also take under 7.5, and that together is plus 225, just like yesterday.
I'm not against that. That's exactly what I have. But so let me also add two things to it. Freddie Freeman, 3 or more total bases is plus 300. And Max Muncy anytime home run. Max Muncy anytime home run plus 500.
Okay. So tomorrow, I'm not going to be here. Day off. Tomorrow's my cross-country dentist hair appointment
Oh, that's
day.
right. Yeah, you go.
So I will make this for tomorrow. The Blue Jays and Mariners. Give me Cal Raleigh to be an anytime home run hitter. Plus 300.
Seattle's going home. They can close this sucker. We don't ever have to go back to Toronto and cross the border again if you're Seattle.
Yeah.
They look awfully, awfully good. All right, let's get to tonight in the National Hockey League. Give me Mark Jankowski, anytime goal scorer, plus 600.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you.
You know what? Just give me the Canes under 6.5, plus 140.
By the way, that guy Michael Misa, the guy who scored 62 in junior last year, he's plus 750 for an anytime goal scorer. Plus 750? Yeah, try it.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, with a great offer for you. If you're a new customer, place a $5 wager, win that wager, pick something easy, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, $300 of FanDuel's money awaits for you if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AdamGold, FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Get the app today. Get started. Major League Baseball playoff action. Maybe you can think about something coming up in the NFL this week, but win your first $5 wager, get $300 of FanDuel money. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
It's not enough to just say it's Bill Belichick's first year. He wasn't supposed to win. The issue is other coaches in their first year have won around the country in many different situations, and they haven't been given all the resources that Bill Belichick has been given. The expectations are higher, but for a reason, and he's not living up to that.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar? Ah! Heads up! Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs. Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you see a student being bullied, be supportive. Ask if they're okay and invite them to join you. You'll be an ally and you can make a friend. Friendship! Visit StopBullyingSpeakUp.com and join Cartoon Network to redraw your world without bullying.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You hear some of the stories that's coming out, in Chapel Hill right now. It's just not a fun environment. It's not a great environment for anyone involved. So to say good fire, to say the least, I didn't expect it to be this bad, but I didn't expect much for him going into his first year of college football coaching.
Is he the head coach next year?
I highly doubt it. And I think that's not just best for North Carolina and the student athletes, but I think it's best for him as well.
I think he will be the head coach at North Carolina next year. Here's my big picture. By the way, it's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That is Victoria. We are here live on YouTube as we are every day. Whether I'm in the studio or not, the show is on YouTube. You can at least listen to it. And if you get the app, the 99.9 The Fan app, you just basically push one little button, boom. And you can, again, if I'm not here, and I'm almost always in studio, you can watch us do the show. You can watch my facial expressions when Victoria says something.
Right. Or play a fun bump.
Yeah, they're all fun.
I try.
So, by all means, just do that. And we'll build our subscribers up, too. I think we're over 100.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple over.
Significantly over that. So keep them coming. I think the only way Bill Belichick is not the head coach at North Carolina next year is if North Carolina forces him to do something he doesn't want to do. I'm not sure that any of this is possible because I don't think Bill is going to do anything he doesn't want to do. But if they force Michael Lombardi to leave, I think doing anything like that would force Bill to evaluate whether or not he wants to do this anymore. And it would give him in some ways an out to say, hey, a lot of the parameters have changed. I don't believe and Brendan Marks talked about it last hour, I don't believe North Carolina wants to fork over $30 million in going away money. This ain't Penn State. No school in the ACC generates the kind of revenue that they can just light $30 million on fire. At Penn State, with the amount of revenue that comes in year after year after year, yeah, they can probably pay James Franklin $50 million to not coach. I don't think North Carolina is able to do that. But I don't think they're going to have to. I think he's going to be the head coach next year. And maybe after next year we'll evaluate whether or not this is working or has any chance to work. This is going to be, as I said at the very beginning, one of the all-time fascinating experiments in the history of college football. What is going on right now with UNC. Talked about it all summer when we were talking about it. I'm fascinated by everything surrounding this, including how UNC's upper, management is not the right word because it's not a professional franchise, but how at the highest levels of the university, how they are dealing with this. And I think not well. Not well. All right, Wall of Sound time.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
From Panthers talk yesterday on the radio. See, I guess they do it in all other markets now. But it used to be, I grew up a fan of the Jets, but I was in a market that had the Jets and the Giants. I didn't have coaches shows.
No.
I don't have coaches. It's because, hey, man, college, they do them in college. We should have them in the pros. Anyway, on Panther Talk yesterday, Dave Canales was asked, what do you do when when Chuba Hubbard comes back?
It's a great problem to try to figure out, but everybody knows we have to find ways to get Rico involved. And we know who Chuba is. We know what he's about. And if you don't think Chuba's chomping at the bit to get back out there, and be a part of what's happening here with this run game, he's excited to get back out there. And but again, we'll have to figure that part out. Brad and I have had a bunch of conversations about how to do that best. There are some examples around the league of systems where two backs are being really productive. So we have to kind of take a page out of their notebook and see if we can make it happen for us.
And what I found funny about that was, in many people's eyes, when he says we have to figure out a way to get blank involved, they assumed that would be Chuba Hubbard involved, right? So, look, if I were Dave Canales, never can a player lose his job due to injury. But sometimes the performance dictates that guy needs to be the feature right now. And you can certainly say Chuba Hubbard's missed some time. We're going to ease him back into it and start Dowdle. But Chuba's going to get his touches. But boy, Rico's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's go to the winning head coach in the Bills-Falcons game last night, who watched Bijan Robinson, his running back, go for 238 yards from scrimmage, 170 on the ground. Here's Raheem Morris.
Yeah, he's the best player in football. I've said it multiple times. I can't say it enough. You can always have your pick. You can always go out there and figure out who you want to vote for. But, in my opinion, he's the best player in football.
He had a great game. And he's a great player. Not even, no joke. I'm still stunned that we didn't see more of Bijan Robinson when the Panthers and Falcons played.
I know, that's what I had anticipated. I'm glad we didn't. But
blown away.
Yeah.
That's why I say sometimes play callers get caught up in calling plays, and sometimes it's more about making themselves look good. Watch how fancy I can be. What's working? Keep doing that.
Yes.
And this is where I want to give Dave Canales credit this past week. This was I'd have to go back and look at what the run-pass breakdown was against Miami. But I would be surprised if there was a more run-favored run-pass breakdown by Dave Canales in his play-calling career than we just watched. More designed runs than dropbacks. Yeah. How about that? Keep pounding, right? Isn't that the slogan?
Sure is.
Yep. Keep pounding.
They don't change it like the Canes do. Their hashtag.
Do you like Carolina culture?
Yeah, no, it's not my fave. I don't hate it, but yeah, it's not my fave.
Yeah.
Can we just make one?
Well, it was Raise Up last year. I liked Raise Up.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Raise Up. I still actually, when I tweet out stories or whatever or videos that I'm putting on TikTok now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. Put on preview videos on TikTok. I use Carolina Culture and Raise Up. Because I think there are still people who have that locked in.
Yes.
Bills head coach Sean McDermott on loss.
Not the result we were looking for. I thought the guys played hard, in particular in the second half, fought through some injuries, guys stepping up. Injuries are not an excuse. There's no such thing as moral victories. But I did think that they battled down to the end right there, which I appreciate. Not good enough. Not good enough in the first half. Allowing them to be a two-dimensional offense when they hit us on some long runs, and then the receiver comes open, and so I thought we did a good job making adjustments at halftime on the defensive side, and limiting them in the second half, and giving our offense some opportunities. Just not enough overall as a team.
Look, they had the ball back after a blocked field goal, down a touchdown in the fourth quarter, in great field position. And they went 3 and out. They punted the ball. It can be simply chalked up to one of those nights. Problem for Buffalo is that it came on the heels of a home loss. Right? Of a home loss to the Patriots. No offense. By the way, New England is in first place.
Right.
4-2. New England has the win at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Hey, look, New England's good.
Wonder what the numbers for Vegas was at the beginning of the season for them to win the division. That would have been good.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these years I'll print them out before the season starts, so we'll have that to refer to. But I do know that I'm sure there were people who had New England to win the division early on that would be more than happy to let us know at A Gold Fan. All right, one more quick thing before we break. Rod Brindamore was asked yesterday before they left for San Jose, will Jacob Slavin be good to go for the road trip?
Maybe. He's getting looked at again, and so he didn't feel great at the end of the game. That's still to be TBD, I think.
Well, I don't think he's there. But that doesn't mean he won't be there on Thursday when the Hurricanes continue this 6-game roadie out west. Late night tonight, by the way.
And they were playing Creed higher in the background. Did anyone else catch that?
Were they? Were they?
They're trying to use the Texas vibes to ramp things up. You remember?
Okay.
That was their warm-up song for the dugout. Texas Rangers, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Back
Okay.
in the day, wasn't that their warm-up
Did it work
song?
for them?
It did for a minute.
Okay. All right, well, whatever works
I know, we'll
is
use
good.
it.
All right, when we come back, Ken Belson has a book. It's called Every Day is Sunday, How Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Roger Goodell turned the NFL into a cultural and economic juggernaut. We got a lot of things to talk about with Ken Belson next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
With the seasons changing, it's important to make these vital checks before hitting the roadways. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and not only do I need to keep an eye on my car tires when the temperature starts to dip and the air pressure changes, but it's also important to do the same for your motorcycle. Taking a quick glance over everything like the air in your tires is just one of those tasks that's easy to forget but key to riding safe. And even with all the precautions we take on our end, we can't always avoid others who may drive recklessly around us. So if you're ever in a wreck on your motorcycle, definitely remember to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're just like us. They're riders too, so they know what it's like to go through an accident. They also know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Raleigh Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Longevity, Social Security, and inflation are three of retirement's biggest challenges. Does your plan account for these risks? Joining me now is Coach Pete, president and founder of Capital Financial. So, Coach, tell me, how does a sound financial strategy help folks be prepared for these risks?
Well, the way we design our plans, longevity, your plan lasts as long as you're here and your spouse is here. It never goes away, and you always get at least the same income you started with, if not more. Social Security, it's important to do the claiming strategies the right way because you could be costing yourself money. My team does a Social Security planning strategy for every single caller. And inflation's your friend. If we have high inflation, you're getting higher interest rates for you. But inflation does cost more. We need to account for that in our plan. We do all this in our total retirement plan. We can do it for you at no cost if you call right now.
Connect with a fiduciary planning team, 888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Ken Belson will join us in just a couple of minutes. He is the author of Every Day is Sunday. To look at the really the trio of Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Roger Goodell. But it's really a look into NFL leadership and how that league has become. I mean, it's not even a sports league, and it's unfair to put the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL even in the same category. And we've often talked about the big four professional leagues, and there's one. And that's not a disrespect to the other three leagues. That's just what the NFL has done to separate itself. I think it's double the revenue of the next highest revenue league. I think Major League Baseball is next. And I think the NFL doubles it in terms of revenue. And keep this in mind. Major League Baseball, each team plays 162 games. And right now in the NFL, you play 17. Eventually, they'll get to 18. TV contracts, sponsorships, viewing, advertising. I think of the top 100 shows every year, like almost 80 of them are NFL games. This is just television shows. 80 of them, roughly, are NFL games. It is amazing. And they are in, like, I don't know that they're always responsible with it in terms of their place in the world, but, I mean, their job is to make money. That's all their job is to make money, to entertain you. I do wonder when we do hook up with Ken, I don't know, maybe we should take a break and then come back and figure this whole thing out. But I have said for a long time that it wasn't that Roger Goodell is a great commissioner. He's certainly not a bad commissioner. But I think the NFL is so set up to succeed that I'm not sure that you couldn't get just literally like a well-trained seal to basically be a dolphin to be the commissioner of the NFL. Although maybe that would make the Dolphins better.
Maybe.
The Dolphins are no good right now.
Hey, even Flipper had a successful show. So.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe that'll be the case. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's get a quick break. We'll either talk to Ken Belson or we will talk about Belichick. The Hurricanes play tonight in San Jose. We will talk about potentially life without Jake up.
You have top 5, top 5, bottom 5.
We do have top 5, bottom 5. we got stuff to do.
Exactly.
Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. I know Week 7 of the NFL doesn't start for a couple of days, but let's plan ahead, shall we? And FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff for the week with an offer you don't want to miss because new customers, we're trying to bring you under the tent here. Bet $5, win that bet, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick something easy, win it, get $300 of FanDuel's money. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Get the app today and get started. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your discounted tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
Let's talk rechargeable battery safety with tips from the National Fire Protection Association. Only buy products with a safety certification mark. Charge devices on hard surfaces. Don't use off-brand cords and always unplug when fully charged. Charge into fire safety at fpw.org/battery.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Ken Belson is a sports business reporter for the New York Times, and he is also the author of Every Day is Sunday, How Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Roger Goodell turned the NFL into a cultural and economic juggernaut. Mr. Belson, I appreciate your time. You talked about the coincidence that this really juggernaut can be traced to the time where Jones and Kraft came into the league.
Yep.
Is it a coincidence, or have Jones and Kraft done things that go beyond just the Dallas Cowboys were pretty much America's team at the time, even though they had fallen on hard times in terms of their success. The Patriots had never had any success, any staying power. I joke as a kid. I remember when the Patriots could only beat the Jets when I was a kid. But is it coincidental that those two franchises or those two owners have kind of been at the forefront of this?
Well, both owners paid deeply for their teams. They were record numbers at the times that they bought them, and they went heavily into debt to do it. And so those two owners in particular were incredibly hungry to make back the money that they invested and pay off their debts. And so they did a lot to bolster Dallas Stadium and Foxborough to upgrade their facilities and obviously to try and produce winning teams. But they also got very involved in the NFL business itself, and particularly on the media side. Jerry Jones was instrumental in getting Fox as the fourth bidder for the television packages, at that time they only had 3 slots. So he really understood the league needed to get an auction going, and it succeeded. And Rupert Murdoch got the NFC package and so forth. So Jerry understood, and Robert later, that they had a hot product, and the league itself overall needed to do more. And as Carmen Policy told me for the book, Carmen Policy was the longtime president of the Niners, Jerry taught us how to sell. In other words, there were a lot of owners who inherited their teams, didn't see it, didn't have much need to invest more in them, were getting old themselves. But Jerry understood, hey, wait a second, what are we doing? We're the most popular league in America. Why aren't we trying to sell more, charge more? One of the things we take for granted now is exclusive sponsorships. The NFL used to have, like most leagues, had several merchandise companies, and then they said, well, wait a second, Robert brought in Reebok. He was friends with the Reebok president in Massachusetts. Why don't we make them the exclusive merchandise company of the NFL? Because you can charge more for one premium exclusive sponsorship than multiple ones. So even that kind of little innovation was something that Robert and Jerry both brought to the table, and that supersized the NFL's overall revenue as well.
Ken Belson, author of Every Day is Sunday, Really, it's about more than Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Roger Goodell. But I want to ask you about Goodell because I'm sure, and I've been hosting radio shows for about 30 years now, and I'm sure I've been disrespectful to Goodell. But this is not meant as a disrespect towards him. I thought the NFL, and maybe it's because of Jones and Kraft and some others, and the popularity of it on TV, could almost run itself. And I used the phrase, a trained dolphin might be as effective as a commissioner. But, there's something, obviously, that Goodell has the ability to do that has enabled the NFL to reach the heights that has reached. So what is it about Roger? He's not an attorney. He doesn't, like Paul Tagliabue was one of the best attorneys in D.C. and became the NFL commissioner. Most commissioners are attorneys. Goodell is not. What is his trick?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's sort of a complex answer insofar as Roger's been around his entire professional career, and basically the reason he became commissioner is he figured out how to solve problems for the owners and for the league, particularly for Tagliabue when he was dispatched. And he is good at going to cities to get them to cut stadium deals for owners. He was in charge of NFL Europe. He helped negotiate, the NFL's entree there in the 1990s. So he's done a lot of the sort of nuts and bolts of he knows how the league works and how to get things done. So that's one skill. It's hard to get that on your resume, right? I mean, you might do that in the NBA,
right?
But he literally, his resume was fixing problems and taking on projects for the owners and the commissioner. So that's the first thing, is that he's just got a good tool chest, if you will. The second thing is, and this was a great quote from Steve Bornstein, who used to be the head of media, he said, Roger is not a CEO. He's more like a Senate majority leader. In other words, he's not the one charting the vision for the league. Of course, he is the one telling you and me as the fans, as the media, this is where we're headed. We're going to do more international. We're going to do more gambling, whatever. We're going to get to an 18th game. He's saying all that, but he's not driving that bus. He is beholden to the 32 owners. And so by calling him a Senate majority leader, he's always sort of trying to read the room, figure out what the owners want, and then figure out how to get to 24 votes, because they need 3/4 approval for anything, so any major decision.
Right.
So he's really taking his cue from the owners. He's a very good listener, I guess, in that sense. And he famously has this card that he carries around. He has on his desk. He makes a point of speaking to every owner at least once every month, and of course with owners like Kraft almost every day. And so even the quietest owner, maybe a Mike Brown in Cincinnati, for instance, Roger will be on the phone. And these guys might complain about any old thing. Could be something on the field. It could be replays. It could be penalties, strength of schedule. It could be 1,000 things. But Roger's always listening. He knows they're the ones who pay his salary. And frankly, he works for them. So I would say those are his strong points. He knows how to operate the league, and he knows how to listen to the owners.
Interesting that you used the term Senate Majority Leader. Obviously, that kind of thing runs in the family. Ken Belson, the author of Every Day is Sunday. So one more thing about Goodell, because you mentioned he's a problem solver. He's good at getting cities to build stadiums. What was his role in, this is an editorial comment, it's mine, not yours or anybody else's, in, basically sticking it to St. Louis and moving the Rams, because St. Louis was actively, they had everything in place, it seemed, to keep the Rams, but the league wanted the Rams to move back to L.A. So what was Goodell's role in that?
Yeah, there are emails that came out afterwards in the trial. The city and the county of St. Louis, as well as their stadium authority, sued the NFL for not following its own relocation guidelines and tipping the scales to make it easier for Stan Kroenke to get out of town and move to L.A. And the emails that came out that were published by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch really show a story of Stan himself and Kevin Demoff, his number two, working with the NFL, both Goodell and his deputies, to kind of make St. Louis worse than it might have been to play up angles in the media that would make it look more palatable for Stan to be justified in leaving. And of course, Stan also, of course, had to have the property in LA to move. Otherwise, the owners wouldn't have approved it. And he did have that. But there are emails where Stan is emailing Roger and saying, "Hey, look, I just bought this 300 acres, the old Hollywood racetrack. Let's keep this under wraps because we don't want people suggesting that I'm leaving town. Wink, wink, when you know I'm kind of leaving town, right? So why else am I buying 300 acres out in L.A., right near the airport?" So, I mean, Goodell, whether he orchestrated it or whether the owners wanted it to be, those emails were pretty damning. And, to St. Louis and the city and counties, I guess to their credit, they won a $790 million settlement out of it. The owners were deposed or had to be deposed in this, the owners on the relocation committee, and they were not happy about that either. Roger Goodell was listening to the room, whether he said, "Oh, I really think the Rams should be in L.A." That was not, I'm sure that wasn't his idea. But if that's where the winds are blowing inside the NFL ownership, well, that's what he's going to help get done.
It's interesting. The Raiders are in Las Vegas, and I want to talk to you about that because I'm not sure that maybe isn't the biggest achievement of the Goodell commissionership. But if they were going to move the most popular NFL team to Los Angeles, wouldn't that have been the Raiders?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I did a couple of stories back when there was this roulette going on, this roulette game. The Raiders still have the best fan base in Southern California, and you can still find Raiders bars all over. I went and watched some games there, but they didn't have the money. And Jerry Jones, to his credit, I guess, or his vision anyway, was if we're going back to L.A., we only get one bite at the apple, right? You don't want to go there with a middling team that doesn't know how to make a splash. We need a big stadium that the high rollers, the celebrities want to show up to. And it's got to be a stadium where we're going to want to hold a Super Bowl, right? That's part of why they moved back to L.A. Mark Davis was not that guy. He doesn't have his own deep pockets. He didn't necessarily have a vision for going back to L.A. His stadium proposal was to team up with Dean Spanos from San Diego, and they were going to put it in Carson, which, no offense to Carson, but it's like 20 miles from L.A.
Right.
It's down Highway 405. It's not L.A. I mean, it is L.A., but greater L.A., but it doesn't have the L.A. vibe. Stan Kroenke bought 300 acres right next to the Forum where the Lakers played. It's close to the airport. You can legitimately is L.A. It's a short ride from downtown, well, depending on traffic. So, and he put $5 billion into it. And he built a space for NFL Network, and he leased space to the TV. So the NFL got an inside deal on new TV space and network space. So he had the better vision. There's no doubt about it. There were quite a few owners that were predisposed to helping Dean Spanos and Mark Davis because they both had bad stadiums, and it would have solved a lot of problems to move them down to L.A. together. But at the end of the day, they could not deny that Stan Kroenke was going to build a bigger stadium and make the NFL have a bigger impact on L.A.
All right, a couple of more questions for Ken Belson. I appreciate your time. Is there a rift in between the old guard ownership? Like, I knew Art Modell. I was working in Baltimore when that franchise relocated from Cleveland to Baltimore. I liked Art a ton. I know that he was obviously not popular in Cleveland after a while, but there were family ownership where these franchises were passed down from generation to generation, and then there's new ownership like Jerry Jones, David Tepper, guys who made money doing other things and then bought NFL teams. Is there a rift at all in between those two groups?
I wouldn't call it a rift because that would suggest they're at odds with each other. I would say there's some natural tension, I guess, on how fast to grow and how to do that. So I'll give you one example. There was a rule change, I want to say it was 2 years ago maybe, at one of the owners' meetings. I don't seem to remember, it was out in Arizona. And the rule change was pretty subtle. It was to give the NFL the authority to flex a Thursday night game late in the year, if needed.
Right.
If the matchup that they had originally chosen, name the two teams, and those teams were duds, and it was week 15, and they wanted to slot in another game. They just needed the flexibility to move it. Well, most of the owners were like, all right, we get it. We don't necessarily care for it, but all right, we understand what the motivation is. One of the few owners who spoke up against this was John Mara. John Mara is one of those owners who inherited his team. His grandfather started the team, and he believes that you're screwing over fans.
Yeah.
You know, that Giants fans located all over the country have season tickets and literally buy plane tickets and make hotel reservations based on the schedule that comes out early in the year. So if you suddenly say to them, hey, by the way, your Sunday tickets are now Thursday night tickets, what are you doing to your fans? What's the message you're sending to them? He at that meeting, he gathered the media around and he spoke forcefully against this. He was in the minority. They didn't get 24 votes that time when it got brought up. And he tried to make the case that we're abandoning the people that are our bread and butter, meaning the fans who tailgate and come into the stadiums and often in the cold weather in New York in December. And what are we doing to them? We're screwing them over. So, you know what? The NFL waited another cycle. They got up a couple more votes, and eventually John, lost the day. But that's to your point, that these older, more family-oriented owners, they have a different set of priorities. They don't necessarily want to just give everything over to the TV networks. But at the end of the day, 97% of the fans who watch NFL games never go to a stadium.
Right.
That's the reality. And, it's a math issue, right? You get 20 million people watching a game. There's only 70,000 seats in the stadium. So, it's just the reality. And unfortunately, guys like John, I enjoy talking to him. I think he might get a bad rap because the Giants aren't good, but I think he has that old school thinking that unfortunately is more and more in the minority.
Yeah, he's the NFL's TV show. And final question, because I wanted to ask you about the cultural part of cultural and economic juggernaut. Does that mean, to the way you approach the book, does that mean how the NFL impacts like American culture, American politics, American patriotism? Are you thinking along those lines?
Actually, the reverse. I kind of see I see the NFL in many ways as a reflection of America. The NFL doesn't necessarily set trends. If they set trends, they would pick different halftime acts. They would pick halftime acts that we didn't know yet and that they were going to promote because they were really good. No, they just see what's the most popular act out there. Let's pick that guy,
right? Bad Bunny
or whatever,
right?
Yeah, Bad Bunny, J-Lo, whoever it is, they're going to pick those acts because we're at the top of our game and we want top shelf talent. So I see it that way. But the NFL, of course, it's influential, but it is kind of a water cooler. So yes, the politics play out in the NFL because it's the biggest stage, but so does pop culture, so does fashion. Frankly, so do things like violence and tolerance for it on the field. Patriotism you see with, Military Appreciation Month when the coaches are dressed up, a certain way, causes that they take on. So, yeah, the NFL is more a reflection of the NFL than the other way around. Having said that, I've brought this up to several people. The NFL has roughly $23 billion in revenue. That's about as much as Delta Airlines. Now, you'd say, all right, Delta Airlines is a pretty big airline, right? But people don't think of Delta in, other than the fact they have to get from one city to another.
Right.
And yet, in mindshare, the NFL is like Walmart.
Yep.
I mean, they're everywhere. Everybody has a conversation, and I know this as a reporter. Been to every corner of this country, people will you tell them what you do. Oh, you write about the NFL. Well, let me ask you something. Blah, blah, blah. They would never say that about Delta, right? I mean, so... Yeah, in dollar terms, they're big, but not super big, and yet in mindshare, cultural mindshare, they're enormous.
I don't know. My airline pilot fantasy team definitely begs to differ about the whole thing. Ken Belson, fascinating stuff. I appreciate your time. Every day is Sunday. How Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Roger Goodell turned the NFL into a cultural and economic juggernaut. Follow him on Twitter at @EL_Belson. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Adam. It's a pleasure.
You got it. Take care. Ken Belson here on the Adam Gold Show. Are we ready for the best and worst? All right. Oh, man. People wait. No.
Of course they do.
You want to start with should I start with the best or the worst?
Ooh, I think we started with the worst last time, so let's do the best.
All right. We'll work up from 5 to 1. Number 5, the Detroit Lions. They were number 1 last week, right?
Yeah.
Lost at Kansas City 30-17. Look, they should have gotten more out of the first half. No doubt about it. The super fun trick play that was ruled illegal, all they had to do is if Jared Goff had simply taken a step back away from center.
Yep.
I paused, looked around, and then went in motion.
Yep.
That would have been fine.
Yes.
Got a little ahead of themselves. Look, the Chiefs had to win that game, and the Chiefs are really good too. Detroit, home to Tampa Bay on Sunday.
That's going to be tough.
Oh, boy. Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams at 4-2, won at Baltimore 17-3. The Rams should probably be 6-0. I'm not saying they're the best team. Obviously have them 4th. But they should probably be 6-0.
Right.
They lost to the Eagles because of a game-winning field goal attempt being blocked. It was run back for a touchdown, but just the act of blocking the field goal ended the game. And they had a million chances to beat the 49ers, but didn't. But they're really good. Matthew Stafford is awesome. Long as Puka Nacua is healthy enough, I think they'll be fine. Number 3, Green Bay is 3-1-1. They defeated, by the way, the Rams are next. They host Jacksonville. Green Bay 3-1-1. They defeated Cincinnati 27-18. They avenged an earlier loss to Joe Biden with a win over the former president. I kid, because Flacco and Biden are both tied to the state of Delaware, and they're of a similar age. You can understand why I confused the two. Never mind. Green Bay is next at Arizona. Will Jonathan Gannon get fired after that game?
Good question.
Might. Number 2, Indianapolis are 5-1. They were actually in the top 5 last week. I think they were 3rd. They defeated Arizona 31-27. A little too close, honestly, if you're as good as Indianapolis is. Best point differential in the NFL, plus 78. By almost 30 points, the best point differential in the NFL. We've only played 6 games. I think that's one of the most underrated and important statistics in any sport is scoring margin.
Right.
Now we're only 6 games in, but plus 78 is significant to me. But maybe here's why. 4 of their wins are at home. They've played 6, so only 2 games on the road. And only one of the Colts' wins is against one of the home wins is against a playoff caliber team, and that's Denver. And they probably should have lost that game. Anyway, I do think they're good. They are at the Chargers, who are 4-2 on Sunday. And number 1, Tampa Bay, 5-1, defeated San Francisco 30-19. You know what happened for the first time this year for the Buccaneers, or in the Buccaneers game? They did not trail in the fourth quarter. For the first time all year. Although it was tight, they led 20-19. Baker Mayfield is playing MVP level football. They are at Detroit. That'll be a fascinating game. All right, to the bottom 5. We'll start number 28. Miami. They are 1-5. They lost to the Chargers 29-27. Game-winning field goal. Needed a game-winning field goal. LA did on the road at Miami. Was it on? I think it was on the road. Yes. Mike McDaniel, one of 2 head coaches who wear capri pants on the sidelines.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
I don't know if that's bad or not, but there's only 2 of them, and he is one.
To each their own, I
and
guess.
They are 1-5, and they will play next at Cleveland, also 1-5. Number 29, Baltimore.
Who saw that coming? No one.
What?
No one.
Lost to the Rams 17-3. On the bright side, they didn't give up 30 points.
Yeah, they're sad.
Yeah, they didn't give up 30.
They're sad.
Minus 50. Keep in mind, they won a game by like 23. Minus 50 is still the third worst point differential in the NFL. Baltimore, because they can't stop traffic.
No.
They are off this week. Number 30, Cleveland. Boy, I can't wait for the Cleveland-Miami game. The Don Shula special, by the way. That's where Shula played, right, in Cleveland. And now of course, he was legendary coach of the Dolphins.
That matchup feels like it should be in Europe.
Or
Europe's been putting on those kind of matchups.
Not even Europe. Singapore. For the first time, we're bringing an NFL game to Singapore.
Right.
It was last minute. We just didn't want it in this country.
Good airfare.
Yeah. Cleveland and Miami. But the Paul Warfield game. Anyway, Cleveland just lost at Pittsburgh 23-9. Remember Mike Tomlin being mad at the Browns for trading Joe Flacco within the division? It's like, why are you helping out a team in the division?
Yeah.
Talking about Cincinnati. And I think that he was mad because he didn't get a chance to play against Flacco. Of course, the Steelers take on the Bengals on Thursday night, so you get your wish. This has nothing to do, of course, with Cleveland. Their point differential is minus 64, the second worst in the league. 3 of the worst point differentials in football are in the AFC North. Remember when we thought that was going to be the best division?
Yes. Wow.
Like, no joke.
What a turn of events.
The Steelers, I don't even think are that good. And they are running away with that division right now. Of course, a lot of football to be played.
And it'll all be because Aaron Rodgers came to
Oh, my gosh, he's going to get all the credit. And we're going to laugh.
Yeah.
We're going to laugh when they lose in the first round of the playoffs. But you know me, I'm Team Tomlin. I want want them to win a Super Bowl in spite of Aaron Rodgers. All right, number 31, Tennessee, 1-5. Still hard to believe that this mess won a game. Of course, it was against Arizona, who actively tried to lose the game and were successful. Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Titans, got sacked. Mike McCoy is the caretaker manager. He was, for a while, the head coach of the then San Diego Chargers. All right, and number 32. Come on. This is an easy one. The Jets are 0-6.
Right.
They lost to Denver 13-11. If I may, just for a second, I was bewildered at the level of stupidity with which the Jets approached the game. Just to if people watch the game, forget about the fact that they kept calling drop back passes when they had no chance to protect Justin Fields. And as soon as he felt any pressure, he stared at the rush. He didn't even have the poise to throw the ball away or to escape the pocket with his legs and run. It was the worst performance by a quarterback that I have seen in years, if not decades. With all of that said, at the end of the first half, I kid you not, the Jets got the ball back with more than 3 minutes to go. You would think that they would try to drive and maybe score. 3 minutes.
You would think.
See, the Jets were getting the ball to start the second half, too. So maybe we can double up here. We get something going right here at the end of the half. So the Jets got the ball back again. 3 minutes. Run. They pick up a first down. And then they allowed the 2-minute warning to come. And then they continued to run the ball. Wait. In between runs, they called a timeout to stop the clock and then ran again.
Right.
What is going on? We have defied logic about how, like, you're trying to milk the clock. It was clear. And bless Kurt Warner's heart, who was on the broadcast, who was watching the game going, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing.
I have no words.
Kurt, I could have told you. They're terrified of their own offense. They were not there to score points with it. Their best offense was when Denver had the ball.
Yes.
They scored 6 points without picking up a first down. They scored 6 points after a fumble recovery and a long kickoff return. The Jets scored 6 points. They got 2 points on a safety.
Yeah.
Right? Where it was a holding penalty in the end zone. They scored basically 8 points off Denver's problems.
Ridiculous.
They scored 11 points in the entire game. So they mustered one other field goal. But the best part was the end. The Jets actually had a chance to win this game. They're trailing 13-11. They get the ball back. Decent field position. It's like maybe the 35-yard line, close to the 40. Nick Folk, who is still the kicker, I can't believe it. Nick Folk's career best is like 57, 58 yards. If they get the ball to the 35, they could win the damn game.
Right.
They get the ball. They pick up a first down, and they're at the 45-yard line. All they need to do, really, pick up another 10 yards. And they were running the ball. They didn't even think about throwing. And then, out of nowhere, when they're gaining yards, enough yards, running the ball, running out the clock where a game-winning field goal could do it, they start dropping back.
Yeah.
Sack. They got no shot.
Make it make sense.
What are we doing? It was the dumbest game I'd ever seen in my entire life. And it was so Jetsy. You can't even believe it. And it takes us all the way to the end. By the way, Aaron Glenn also wears capris on the sideline.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
Oh, wow. He's got fancy moves, though.
I love Aaron Glenn, man. I watched him as a player. I hope he's successful, but I don't know. They play Carolina on Sunday. That'll do it for us. Victoria, thank you. See everybody on the hockey game later.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Prevula firing left side, seam picked off, and Alabama is going to hang on and win this one, 27-24.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
This party's getting crazy.
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours.